Hello, in this video I will walk you through the spreadsheet I created to hopefully help you to better understand how to conduct a cost-benefit analysis. If you'd like, you can download the spreadsheet from the link available in the description of this video. It is worth mentioning that the idea of sharing this spreadsheet or template is for you to have a starting point for developing your own spreadsheet that will be tailored to the things that you'd like to consider. Before delving into the exercise, let's review the steps to conduct the cost-benefit analysis. First, identify the project or decision to be analyzed. Second, identify potential costs and benefits under two scenarios, one without the project and one with the project. The third step is to quantify and assign monetary values to the identified costs and benefits. The fourth step is to calculate the net present value or NPV, which is basically the difference between the cost and the benefits. Then we have conduct a sensitivity analysis to see how changes in assumptions impact the results. This is not mandatory but highly recommended. And then we have the final step 6, which is evaluate the results to make an informed decision. Now let's dive into the spreadsheet. I will use a hypothetical exercise to walk you through the template. The idea to is to not only show you how to use this spreadsheet in case you're interested, but also to demonstrate how to apply these 6 steps of cost-benefit analysis. So in this hypothetical example, the project we are interested in consists of establishing a protected area to conserve biodiversity and promote ecotourism. I am assuming in this example that the current area is pristine, but that there are some traditional activities such as agriculture and logging inside the area. Additionally, I'm assuming that the establishment of this area will be done by the government. And note that all cells that are in light yellow are supposed to be input by the user. So here you can, for example, delete what is written down and write the description of your own project. In this spreadsheet, there is a glossary with some examples of costs and benefits that could be used, as well as their description. This is just to help you. For this hypothetical exercise, I've divided the cost into two types, one-time cost and recurrent cost. For one-time cost, we have land acquisition, infrastructure development, and initial restoration efforts. These are the initial costs the government will have to cover if the project is implemented. If the project is not implemented, then these costs do not exist. Recurring costs, we have maintenance costs, administrative costs, and opportunity costs. The case of opportunity costs is the revenue loss from traditional activities that won't be allowed if the area becomes protected. And we have also environmental costs. For the benefits, I used the same strategy and divided them into one-time and recurrent benefits. In the case of this example, the one-time benefit refers to the increase in house prices due to proximity um, to a protected area, which is usually positively valued in the market. And for the recurrent benefits, in this example, annual benefits, I'm considering ecotourism revenue, agriculture and logging activities revenue, which should only occur in the scenario without the project, job creation, carbon sequestration, biodiversity conservation, improved water quality, educational and research opportunities, and improved public health through recreational opportunities. Now comes one of the main challenges when conducting a cost benefit analysis, especially when considering social and environmental aspects, monetizing all the costs and benefits to perform a cost benefit analysis. Everything must have a dollar value or the currency you're working with. There are various valuation techniques to obtain some of these values, but keep in mind that this process can be an entire project on its own and may take months. So in this example, I won't go into the details of how these values were obtained, and that's beyond the scope of this video. But to be realistic, I'm assuming that while some social and environmental benefits have been identified, I was unable to quantify them, and thus they are not included in the analysis. When this happens, um, it's important to be transparent and to consider how these missing values might impact the final results. I'll come back to this point when evaluating the results. Now that you have identified and quantified the costs and benefits, you are almost ready to calculate the net present value, which is the difference between the present value of cash inflows, the benefits, and the present value of cash outflows, the cost, over a specific period of time. Here in the screen, you can see the formula. You have the net cash inflow, which is the difference between the benefit and the cost at a certain time, in this case time t. The discount rate, which is the rate that we use to convert the benefits and costs over time into their present value. It is important to know that money today is worth more than in the future. T represents the time period, for example, a year. And here's the initial investment um, or cost, initial cost, the C0. Before calculating the net present value or NPV, it's essential to determine the time horizon. In this case, in this hypothetical example, we are assuming like a 15-year period. Another crucial factor is the discount rate. For this exercise, I'm using a nominal discount rate, but it's really important to match the type of discount rate with the type of prices used. So when using current price that incorporates inflation, you should use a nominal discount rate. On the other hand, if you're working with constant costs and benefits, you should use a real discount rate. So here we have like the tab costs. And in this tab, you can see the evolution of the cost by stakeholders and scenario with and without the project. So these values are the same as before. The only difference that for each year, they have like the inflation. Similarly, in the benefits tab, you'll find the annual benefit over 15 years. Note that I calculated these values by using the cost again and the benefits initially inputted in the input tab and then added inflation to obtain the current prices. I then summed everything to get an idea of the total amount. However, please note that these values are not yet discounted, so this total does not represent the present value. In the CBA results tab, this is where I discount the cost and benefits for the with the project scenario. Um, we have the discount factors, as you can see, I highlight in red. And to obtain like the discounted net benefit, we simply multiply the discount factor by the benefit in each year. And once we sum up all the discount benefits, we have the net present value. In the summary tab, I highlight all the main results of what I consider to be like the main results. The first and perhaps most important result is the $4.4 million value. displayed at the top. This value represents the difference between the net present value in the with the project scenario and the without the project scenario. It indicates that under the assumptions we considered, the NPV in the scenario where the protected area is established is 4.4 million greater than the NPV in the scenario without the protected area. And remember that there were some social and environmental variables that we were not able to quantify. If we were able to include these variables into the analysis, I believe this difference would be even higher. Um, Second, we have like this graphic that shows the discounted net benefit, meaning again like the difference between like the cost and benefits over time. Um, there is like an initial loss associated with implementing the protected area, but soon the benefits become greater than the cost, and the discounted net benefit of the with the project scenario is greater, as you can see here, than the discounted net benefit of the scenario in which there is no protected area. Below, we have like the net present value calculated by stakeholder for each scenario. In the case of this hypothetical exercise, the government lose, as the government is the one paying the cost for implementing the protected area. The sectors that benefit from the new protected area are the private sector. And here it's like interesting because in this exercise we assume like a shift from traditional activities to ecotourism related activities. And then we have like the communities. In this scenario, without protected area, the government neither loses nor gains. However, when conducting your own exercise, you might consider including, for example, taxes, which could help balance this situation a little bit more. The private sector represents the traditional activities. So this gain is associated with the gains from agriculture and logging. The communities in this scenario are the ones that bear like the cost, um, which in this exercise represents the environmental and social costs associated with the without the project scenario. Finally, we have like two graphs. The first graph shows the benefits adjusted for inflation for each stakeholder, while the second graph illustrates the cost by stakeholder. Generally, people find visual representations like this helpful in understanding the results, so I recommend presenting similar things in your report. It is good practice to conduct a sensitivity analysis. This involves changing one variable or like input at a time to see how the results change. In this exercise, I'm changing the discount rate by 2%. And notice that as I increase the discount rate, the net present value in both scenarios decrease. This is expected, as a higher discount rate means that you value money more now than in the future. And conversely, a lower discount rate means that you value future cash flows more, resulting in a higher net present value. So based on the CBA, should the new protected area be implemented? And the answer is yes. Considering all stakeholders and under the assumptions made here, like the time horizon and the discount rate, implementing a new protected area generates overall benefits that are greater than the cost over a lifetime of 15 years. And besides that, you also have like the net benefit for the with the project scenario is greater than zero, demonstrating feasibility. So this is my last slide about like best practice. So you should use a nominal discount rate appropriately. Use a nominal discount rate when working with current prices adjusted for inflation and a real discount rate when using constant prices. The second one is use reliable data. When conducting a CBA, aim to use the most reliable data available, preferable data that is widely accepted by other researchers. Transparency. Be transparent about the assumptions and inputs used in your analysis. Conduct sensitivity analysis. Test the robustness of your um, analysis by varying key assumptions and inputs and seeing how the results change. Identify key variables, determine which variables have the most significant impact in the results when doing like the sensitivity analysis, for example. Choose an appropriate time horizon. This is tricky. You should select a time horizon that reflects the project's life cycle, um, but at the same time, you don't want to choose like a very long um, term horizon due to the complexity of like predicting variables such as inflation. Acknowledge non-monetary impacts, recognize the importance of social, environmental, and cultural impacts that may not be easily quantified. You may not include this in your report explicitly, but you should have like at least acknowledge a little bit that they exist and it should try to understand how if they could be monetized, how they would change the results. And this is really important as well. Engage stakeholders, involve relevant stakeholders in the analysis to gather diverse perspectives, validate assumptions, um, and ensure the reliability of the data used. That brings us to the end of this presentation. In this video, we covered the 6 steps to conduct like a simple cost benefit analysis using like this spreadsheet that I created, but that you can download it from the link in the video description, which I encourage you to do so and get familiar with the formulas and calculations. Everything is there, nothing is locked. And once you feel comfortable, you can make like the necessary changes to conduct your own cost benefit analysis. I hope you found this video useful. See you next time. Bye.